Hi, I'm Rachel Abbasi. Welcome to the Recovery Daily podcast. As always, thanks for spending time with me. Hi, welcome to the Recovery Daily podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abbasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And no pressure here. We've had a swarm of new listeners over the past few days. So I'm really excited to have you here. Welcome. I'm just going to dive right into it. The way it works is every day is a new day of recovery. We're all recovering in some way, shape, or form from something in our lives. So, a lot of what I focus on is sobriety and stroke recovery. But I'm telling you, it's really all about living. It's all about living, managing, for me, managing mental wellness, managing anxiety, depression, and just like the little things, getting up and being excited about the day rather than getting up and dreading the day, these types of things. So I'm really excited to have you. Today, I wanted to talk about spiritual progress, surrender. I wanted to talk about defining our destination. You know how people say, "Oh, I've finally arrived," Um, where? Where have you finally arrived to? Because for me, especially like while I was in my career, that I had to leave because of my stroke. When I was in that time in my life, it's like wherever I arrived to, I had a new destination in sight. So when I hear somebody say, I have finally arrived, I'm jealous that you had such a clearly defined destination that you knew when you got there, because that is not what has happened for me. And for me, it's really important that I redefine this idea of the journey versus the destination. And um, looking at milestones and achievements a little differently, it seems like I was always focused on like the next big thing, where I was the next position I was trying to get at work, the next life goal. It's either you're graduating from high school, now you're graduating from college, you have a boyfriend, you got married, you have kids. And it was like whenever I got to something that was exciting, I was already setting my sights on what's the next big thing ahead of me rather than sitting back and like relaxing into where I am. And what I've tried to do in this shift, and it really started to become clear after I had my stroke. And um, for those of you who are lifetime listeners, you're very aware that I had this struggle in the first couple years after I had my stroke. And I'm still, I wouldn't say struggling with it. It's more, I'm very attentive to the idea that I had this stroke. So all of my life goals just all of a sudden became like disappeared. Like I didn't know, they disappeared overnight. I didn't know what my future held anymore because my goals were all based on my capabilities, my physical capabilities, my emotional capabilities, and all of these things were, well, really the emotional side were things that like I read self-help books, like how can I fight my anxiety in public speaking? And these were little goals that I was always setting. in between the big goals, which is like I became a marketing director. So the next thing was I wanted to be a senior marketing director. And then my big goal was to be a VP. And then all of a sudden all of that was gone. So that posed the question for me, which is how do I know what progress looks like in my life now if I don't have a vision of where I'm going to end up? Um, if I don't have an understanding of what my disability from my stroke is going to look like a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Am I always going to not be able to watch TV? Am I always going to not be able to drive? That was so, like, the doctors couldn't tell me. So I didn't know what to look forward to. Um, I didn't know how to take a step forward when I didn't know what direction I was going in. And this topic came up, I don't know, last week, and I haven't been able to record, as many of you know, because I was taking a peer recovery support class, and that was really challenging for me to be on this virtual class and ingesting this information. This is like the first big thing that I had done post stroke, where I really needed to be on and be attentive and be listening and trying to understand and speak and do the things that were so easy before my stroke. And now it really takes a lot of work to just communicate. So if you are a new listener and you are curious about what my disability is and what challenges I have faced post stroke, I've got a ton of episodes about it, so feel free to go back and scroll through the topics that might be applicable to you. But one of the challenges that I have faced is in with aphasia. And, after your stroke, like you're just freaking tired. It's hard to explain if someone has not had some sort of cognitive um, impact by like a health event in your life, but it's a fatigue that is just I fail to find the words to explain it. It's just like I need to fall out. Like every day I had class, I slept for 11 hours after class because my brain just couldn't keep going. But anyway, this idea of not being able to take a step forward without knowing where I want to end up, like it's like the topic when I was hearing about it last week was envisioning a child learning to walk, and that unsteady feeling, the falling down, getting back up, and sometimes the child will cry. Hold on, I need to interrupt us. This is normal, by the way. Boris, no. Okay, sorry. Boris is the bulldog and he likes to lick Autumn, the Weimaraner. And now he's not. Okay. So, some kids will fall down and cry. Some kids will smile and get back up, right? I'm a big believer in if my child fell down, if I make a big deal about it, they're probably going to make a big deal about it. If I smile and show that, show resilience, like we just get back up. We don't have to rush. We don't have to criticize ourselves for wobbling. We just get back up. Well, this is, for me, it was a good visualization for me to be able to connect this with recovery and spiritual growth because in the first few years of my stroke recovery, that's what I felt like. I felt like I was just constantly stumbling. Um, I didn't know, I couldn't even stand up, much less take a step or know which direction I was supposed to go in. And it's very much like that child who is just learning to hold on to something and stand up. And then they're learning how to take a step and they don't know what direction they need to go in because they're just trying to move, to move. And that's what I felt like in early stroke recovery. I felt like I I couldn't even I was so blind to what the future looked like for me that I needed to just focus on getting up. And I mean that figuratively. I don't mean it physically because my stroke did not cause that type of physical disability, but it was emotionally and spiritually. I just had to get back up. And the only way that I had found to do that was to focus on the present moment. Um, that relates directly to my sobriety, to the tools that I learned in my recovery from alcoholism that I learned in the beginning, stay in the moment, one day at a time. And I did not get that. In early sobriety, I did not understand that. And that caused a relapse for me. I reached a day that I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this for the rest of my life, so I might as well drink. And I did. And I drank for another 8 months before I went back into another detox. And in stroke recovery, um, the same thing happened in a way. It's like I would get up in the morning and just like I every morning remind myself, you're an alcoholic in recovery, I had to tell myself, you are a stroke survivor. And the key to that point, that phrase is survivor. And I had to get up, sorry, Boris, stop it. Sorry for the interruptions. Um, you're a survivor. And I really, truly, some days was like, do I get back? Do I get up? Do I get out of bed? And my response, that self-talk was, what's the alternative? What's the alternative? So I got up, and that movement alone was growth. That movement was recovery. And it reminds me so much of a child who is, how safe is it to just keep staying low to the ground and crawling around? But you can get somewhere faster if you stand up. And there's a lot that goes on when we make those decisions to stand up and to go. And I think that we don't give ourselves a lot of credit for that, making those big decisions. You know how when you're going to work and you get up in the morning and maybe you were up like for 2 hours in the middle of the night and you're like, oh my God, I can't get up and go to work. And you get up anyway. You're like, well, this is what I have to do. And you get up anyway. There is something really brave in that decision. There is something really strong inside us that makes us get up and go. And making those decisions on a regular day is what trains us to make those decisions on really, really hard days. Um, so I like to share what it was like for me to, to make those big decisions on hard days because hopefully it resonates with somebody else. And I know it does. We all do. We all struggle to get up in the morning. Um, in sobriety, I bounce up a little bit better than I did when I was drinking. When I was drinking, I just pulled the covers over my head, reached down to the side of my bed between my nightstand and my bed, and there was always a glass of wine down there. And I woke up in the morning and I chugged that, and then I was able to get out of bed. Well, that was my life before sobriety. And that was my life focusing on outcomes and trying to control things that weren't mine to control. I was white knuckling life. I was chasing what was next, yet stealing my future away from me at the same time. And in sobriety, I have learned to slow down. I've learned to start noticing, noticing instead of rushing through everything. Really, I feel like I notice because I don't have that chatter in my head like I used to. That chatter that was trying to fix all the things that I broke the night before, emotionally and spiritually. I didn't even know what spirituality was when I was drinking. But that emotional hangover that I talked about in the last episode, um, I couldn't notice anything in the world around me because all I had the energy for was to fight the battle that was going on between my ears. So there still, however, was this unspoken belief that there was a destination that I needed to get to that was going to fix everything. That is my happy ending. I mean, that's what we say when we hear storybook endings. They are you get to your happy ending. Well, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that happy ending is. Really, a happy ending would be nothing ending at all, right? And so, really, it's a happy journey. That's what I'm trying to be on. I don't want to get somewhere anymore. I want to be there. Um, the truth that has been revealed to me in stroke recovery is that the destination that I was traveling towards was, how can what is a word for it? The destination that I was traveling towards was fluid. It was dynamic. I was never going to get there. Um, the certainty that I thought I had before my stroke was not certainty at all. It was a feeling that I had control of things. Still, I felt as though if I do ABC, I will reach XYZ. And I still was not acknowledging the life. that happens in between the cause and effect. So I'm now in this place where I didn't plan any of this. Like, I'm in medical retirement now. My destination that I had envisioned has disappeared. And so the journey itself that I'm in has become an unavoidable place of surrender. Um, Presence is no longer optional. It is all I have. So when I go to my morning meeting at 7 a.m., one thing a traditional thing that we say in the meeting is we only have today. And I did not get that. Still, after I'm 9.5 years sober, a little over 9.5 years sober, I still didn't get it. I mean, I was 5 years sober when I had my stroke, and I probably have not truly grasped the concept of we only have today until like last year. There is a deeper spiritual progress that I have been feeling within me. It's um it's not exactly achievements. It's not exactly arriving somewhere. It's more of a sensation of acceptance, willingness, trust, and staying with life just as it is. And it's all of those things all at once. And I have to show up every day within my recovery program. That's why I go to 2 meetings every morning, because I need to be reminded every day of those things being my uh my I keep being challenged for words today. It's because my head is still very triggered with symptoms. But I need to be reminded that that is how I measure progress in my life. How often and how consistently and how constant do I feel acceptance, willingness, and trust? That is my spiritual progress. And recovery, dual recovery, has taught me how to walk with acceptance, willingness, and trust. The stroke has helped me learn how to stay in the moment and be grateful for the moment. I would be lying if I said that I'm not still filled with a lot of fear because of my stroke. Um, and I see my psychiatrist once a week. I just spoke to her this morning to talk about that stuff because that's the only way. That's the only way. I told her this today. It's the only way that I can feel emotionally well is if I talk to a professional once a week about what's going on between my ears. Because no matter how much I talk about it here, I need somebody to respond to me, you know? I get a lot of feedback from my episodes, and I really, really am grateful for that and appreciative. It makes me, it helps me know that I'm a part of a community and I'm not just, sometimes I'm like, why are you just spilling your guts on this, on this episode? Well, I'm doing it because I want to help other people. I want to be a peer in recovery, which is why I took that class. Um, but anyway, I still need to talk to my professional psychiatrist and actually have somebody nod to me, you know? I do feel that life is slower, and it has taken me 4 years to have my body and my mind slow down to the speed of stroke recovery. I don't feel, although I'm still full of a lot of fear, I don't feel that my life is so uncertain. I don't feel, I understand the fragile nature of life more so than I did before my stroke. I understand more how important it is for me to be self aware and honest about what I'm feeling because over the past 4 years that I've been coming here and talking about it and being honest, even when I do that, I hide things from myself. It's really fascinating how we can think even that we're being honest, but still being dishonest or hiding things from ourselves. So I try to be very intentional about what I'm saying, you know, aligning what I'm saying with what I'm feeling and not just what sounds good. And that's what I do sometimes. Um, I I don't know where I'm going. You know, I don't know what is ahead of me. I don't know where I'm gonna end up, quote unquote, but I'm happy with where I am at this very moment, and that's where I get to make decisions. I have choices in the present moment. I don't have choices in the future or the past. My choices are all right here. So, being gentle with myself, giving myself a little comfort about having that automatic need to figure out what my destination is and try to make progress toward it. Like giving myself grace and being gentle and being like, remember, you don't need to be getting somewhere all the time. What life is enjoying where you're at. It's not, it's not getting to where you're going. Getting to where you're going is always in the future, and we have to stay present. Um, so that spiritual progress for me isn't about arriving somewhere. It's really constantly and consistently and honestly being right here, right now. And that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And but I'm glad to do it because I feel like I'm living better this way. I'm living better by just taking the time to appreciate the very moment that I'm in. So that's what I have for you. Again, welcome newcomers. And hopefully, we're getting back to recording every day. I know I keep saying that, but I'm still on the fence about recording on weekends. I used to record every single day of the week because I'm an overachiever, but I'm starting to feel like that is not healthy for me and that I need to record Monday through Friday instead. So I don't know. You know, I'm just doing whatevs. I'm just doing whatevs. So, anyway, I do plan on recording tomorrow. So I will see you then.